I guess we're onto the whips as well, and I also have a few whips to talk about. There has been one that I have been almost monogamously knitting on. You could say that I have been knitting on a few other things, but they've just been kind of flirtations. But I'm still having a full-on relationship with this one whip, and that whip is, you guessed it, the Souffle by Penrose Knits. So we have a deadline. I have less than a week to finish this baby off. I'm almost there. I have to finish this sleeve and knit probably another 6 inches on the body, and then I'm done. Then I just have to wash it, block it, photograph it, and it's ready to go. This is the first test knit that I have ever done properly. I did sign up for another one with another designer back in 2020, but that didn't end up actually going through. It was kind of cancelled midway for whatever reason, but I was quite relieved at the time because I felt I'd signed up to it and I was in over my head. I got the pattern, I was like, oh, okay, there's some things here that I haven't done before, and I was a fairly new knitter, and to be honest, I signed up for it for the wrong reasons. But thankfully it didn't go ahead. I mean, thankfully for me. But this time I actually felt ready to sign up to a test knit. And when Laura, Penrose Knits, designed this pattern, put it up on Instagram, and she's like, I'm looking for testers. I'm like, yes, please, sign me up. It's gorgeous. It's adorable. And it's made of mohair. I have to do it. Thankfully, she chose me from all of the testers, and this whole testing experience, as essentially my first testing experience, really, it's been great. We have a whole like Instagram chat group where everyone is so kind and supportive, and everyone's sharing their tips, and Laura is so responsive with any feedback as well in with that anyone is giving on the pattern. It's gone through a few versions already, and we've got the final version, and it is fantastic. It is so gorgeous. I don't know if the color is showing up as well here. This is a really bright jewel pink. It's almost a dark fuchsia, but it looks different colors in different lights. Some people see red, whereas others, well, in other lights, like the way I'm looking at it right now with the light behind it, it is a brilliant fuchsia, but I know on screen you can just see like a dark fuchsia-y red. So yeah, depending on the light, it looks different. It has this gorgeous ruffle, so it's knit with one strand of mohair for most of the yoke, and then above, basically about here, you join another strand, and you're knitting in 2 strands for the rest of the body, and then you have to knit a ruffle. And let me just say, that ruffle is worth every stitch of the almost 1,500 stitches in my size. I had a bit of a panic when I got to the point where I was like, oh my god, there's so many stitches on my needles. How on earth am I going to bind this thing off? I persevered. Someone in the test knit group suggested a crochet hook bind off, and it took a little bit of practice for me to get used to it. But once I had that thing down, that, like, you know, slip, hook, wrap, you know, whatever the order is, it came quite quickly. So, and it was worth it. I think the ruffle is just adorable. Because this hanger isn't actually my body size, it's not actually showing it off properly, but I'll take photos once it's finished and you'll all see it. There'll be a flood of souffles on Instagram, and there are already quite a few of the testers who've podcasted about their test experience and their knit already. So I think, who was it? This Nanny Knits has talked about it. The Knit Pearl Girl has as well. There's a couple others knitted by Whitney, Professor Pearl as well. So yeah, they are such a lovely group, such lovely ladies. And yeah, we're all excited to finish. So I won't talk too much about it other than to say it's going well and I'm almost done. I will actually share the yarn with you. So at the beginning, when Laura shared the pattern with us, the pattern actually suggests that you use Lang lace mohair. And Laura kindly worked together with Simona from knit.co.uk to provide some yarn support in the form of a discount for us test knitters. So I ordered my yarn from her and I ordered the recommended Lang lace, and I couldn't decide on a colour. I ended up going with this colour, which is the colour Aloe, and the colour number is 0092. It's a really lovely muted green, but I couldn't actually tell properly on the computer screen what colour it was. And there was another pink on there in the Lang lace, but I really wanted a pink one, but I couldn't actually tell what the colour really looked like. So in the end I thought, you know what, I'll get a souffle quantity of Lang lace in the green because it is kind of my colour. It's in my colour palette. But then I had a look at the Tilia and I went with Filcolana Tilia in the colourway Azalea. And it is, honestly, it is a jewel pink, like a dark jewel coloured fuchsia, like a jewel tone. It just doesn't look like it here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks more red on screen. Anyway, so the colour I went for was colour number 360. And yes, so I thought I get a souffle quantity of each of those and I decide when it arrives which one I wanted to knit up. And because I'd actually been knitting on so much green with the basset hat and the weekend slip over, this colour was really calling to me, so I went with this. And now the difference between the two yarns is that the Lang lace has a much higher quantity of silk and a lower quantity of mohair. So its composition is 58% mohair and 42% silk. Where is it? You can't see that. There. Whereas the Tilia is 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. So it's a lot fluffier. And you can definitely tell once it's knitted up. So I thought the souffle would be a little bit sheer, but actually after trying it on, the single strand in the yoke here is a little bit sheer, but that's fine. But the double strand for the rest of it is not sheer at all. But I imagine in this Lang lace it would be a little bit sheer. I actually think that's really nice. And I think if you wore a slightly sheer top in mohair with an awesome like rockin' bra underneath, it would look really nice. So yeah, I really like that look. Anywho, so yeah, I ordered the yarn from knit.co.uk because there was a bit of yarn support in terms of in the form of a discount, and so I couldn't actually get started on my test straight away, so I had to wait until it arrived, and I was willing to make that sacrifice. It took about 2 weeks to get here, what with Australian postage. The Royal Mail, so the UK bit was really fast, but getting through Australia took its time. So yeah, so I was probably about a week and a half behind everyone else in the test knit group. I know there are a few others of us that were late starters for whatever reason, but we're all getting there. We're getting it done. And yes, so that is one of my whips. Loving the souffle. And another whip, something I've been working on, is sewing related. Now I've got my knitting baskets, right? My proper baskets that I've shown you before, but I was really kind of hankering after a quilted knitting bag, and I know Petite Knit does them, and yes, they're they're really trendy and cool, but I thought, you know, I can make one of my own. I've got the batting, I've got loads of fabric, I've got lots of kind of scraps of fabric, and I had this lovely batik fabric that I bought on Langkawi in Malaysia a couple of years ago on holiday, and I cut it out to make a dress, but I never ended up making the dress, so it's just been sat in a bag in my wardrobe. So I dug it out and I thought, you know what, the pieces are big enough to actually make a decent sized project bag. So I got out my batting pieces, I put it all together, and I started quilting it. Here we go. It's quite big. What I'm going to do is actually fold it over and turn it into like a big bag, a big project bag. But I lost steam partway through quilting, and it ended up going back on the whips pile. So I will finish it, but the reason I mention it is because I then discovered Patil Knits on Instagram. She is a Melbourne-based maker, and she also makes quilted project bags. And she makes them all herself at home in her little studio. She sews and she knits, and they are just adorable. And I honestly think they are so much cooler than the petite knit bags. So I have been using this as my souffle project bag. Inside we have got, she's got 3 pockets in there. You can't actually see properly. There's 3 pockets in there, and I just found it so useful. It's been really good. I've been able to keep it all under control. There is still mohair everywhere. Like, I'm gonna have to lint roller this bag out once I'm done with this project. But yeah, it's adorable. I love it. It's so well made. Her finishing on this has just been fantastic. And I think she has another shop update soon, like in a couple of days. So I'm very tempted. She chooses some awesome fabrics. So if you like something like this, I think she gets her fabrics from a similar supplier. And this, I think, is a Katie Courtman fabric, which I love Katie's style. She's just fantastically colourful and energetic, and she does some beautiful designs. So yeah, Patil Knits, highly recommended if you're Australia or New Zealand or even international based. Fantastic project bags. This is the medium size, and I would say it's pretty good for a sweater. Maybe not a huge bulky sweater, but probably like a fingering sweater, something like that. Anyway, it's not too dissimilar in size to my project baskets. It just closes at the top, so it's easy to move around and throw in another bag. So yeah, so that's that. What else have I been working on? Sorry, I'm just checking the time. I've got 34 minutes of filming left on my card, so I'm gonna crack on. It's a whole new world. So I also have one other whip. I have been wanting to make another beret #1. I made one for my mum, I think it was last year, from some fingering and mohair, and this actually ties quite nicely into my acquisitions. So this beret, partially completed beret, is made with Holst Garn's Noble blend, and it is a 95% Geelong wool and 5% cashmere wool, essentially a light fingering weight yarn. So back in, I heard on the grapevine that Holst was having a sale back in January. So I'd heard it being raved about on the webosphere by knitters everywhere. So I thought, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try it out. They're having a sale. I don't have to buy a huge amount. Let's test it. So I got myself enough of the cashmere blend to make a beret, probably 1.5 berets to be honest. And so far, so good. It feels quite dry in the fingers. I am holding it double for the beret, and I'm hoping that it washes and blocks a lot softer. I did knit up a swatch. it did turn out softer, but I didn't actually wash it properly, and I didn't actually do it on the Beret gauge, so we'll see. But I then, I apologize if I'm rushing through this, I just want to make sure I get it all done. With my Holst order, I ordered, oh, juggling. I ordered some of their super soft, and clearly I have an obsession at the moment with lilac and lavender colors, so I went with their hyacinth colorway. This one is a beautiful mix of purple, like a light purple, and flecks of blue, or a slightly darker purple through it, and it's a lovely, would you say mild, heathered colorway. So I got 2 cakes of this. The cakes are 50 grams, and they work out to be 287 meters per 50 grams, which I think is a light fingering. Held together would be either a sport or a DK. I honestly cannot remember what I intended to make with this color, but I have it now. I think I was like, I'll just knit up a beanie or another hat, or maybe, no, I've gone blank. I don't know. I think I just wanted it. So, but I also got some of their Coast mix, which is a 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton blend, and this is in the colorway Sea Green. It's a little bit blown out in the photo here. It's a lot richer. It's a lot richer in real life. Yeah. It is a sea green, but it's a lot, yeah, it's a lot richer in person than on the screen. I like to put things around my face because then you can actually see if it suits your skin tone. So anyway, so I thought I got 4 of these, and I thought I'd make myself a summer version of either the Ranunculus or Melody Hoffman's Wild Posy Tee. I clearly haven't knitted that up. Summer is almost at an end, but perhaps in the middle of winter I will get the urge to knit some summer garments. So yeah, so really the idea of this Holst order was to try out their different yarns and the different fiber blends, and this compared to this, just on first touch, this is so much softer than the Holst Super Soft. So this is the Coast blend, the wool cotton blend. This is the 100% wool, and the cashmere is soft as well. It's softer than the Holst Super Soft. It's also a little dry, but then when you wash it, you wash out the spinning oils, and it's supposed to soften up and bloom. So yeah, I mean, it was really just to test things out. So I did get those. Almost knocked over my whole thing there. I also got a cone of the Super Soft in the colorway Mariner, and it is a navy blue with flecks of deep green throughout, and I honestly, I thought I could use that for anything going forward. So yes, so whips and acquisitions are the things I have acquired. I haven't acquired that much, to be honest. Really, it was just yarn for the souffle, a little bit of a Holst haul. I did get some mohair to really just to supplement some of my stash yarns, because I really want to knit the Great Gingham Raglan. And I had already in my stash, I had this lovely fingering mohair. It's a merino mohair blend from Maker Moran that I bought a while ago. I just didn't really know what to knit with it because I didn't really have that much experience with fingering. And then I had this combination of Knit Pixie yarn. So this is a mohair and palette fingering yarn. It is so soft together, but I thought these colors together would make a beautiful gingham, and I could knit up the Great Gingham Raglan. So really the only thing I needed, because I already had these in my stash, I needed a mohair to go with this. So yes, I just ordered, I think, five balls of Tilia from a local yarn store here in Melbourne called Yarn & Co, and it's in the colourway number 353. I think it'll be a good match, and it'll kind of balance it out to make the fingering more purple. So yes, what else was there? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I apologize for rushing through the last like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm still just trying to get to grips with this whole new setup thing, which I know I've said probably about 3 or 4 times now, but I just realized that my battery's on its last bar as well. So I'll figure it out. I'm hoping that this has all come out really well. So if not, I'll be refilming it. But yeah, it's a whole new world. Oh my God, I feel like I'm missing something. You know, when you're about to leave the house and you're like, I know something's missing. But no, I think that's pretty much it. But just to really quickly show you, this is the camera I ended up getting. It's the Sony ZV-1, apparently the best vlogging camera on the market, and yeah, I just got to figure out how to use it. So my birthday is coming up. It is my birthday month. My husband's going to get me a book or something on how to do photography, how to do it. I'm so used to just like, look, point, click, shoot, done, not having to think about it, that yeah, I got a whole new thing to learn, and I'm excited about doing it. So hopefully I can produce some better content for you, clearer, crisper. I'm not filming in 4K yet because I know there isn't really enough room for a full 1-hour podcast on my SD card in 4K. So we're just in HD for now, 1080 HD I think it is still, but hopefully it's much better anyway. So yes, while we're here and I've talked about everything else, life update. I honestly don't have that much to share. You know, life's still pretty boring. I have been doing some different things lately though, which has been nice. So I'd hope to film this sooner this weekend. So it's currently Monday. It's the Labor Day public holiday here in Australia. I'd hope to film this on Saturday or Sunday, but I've just been helping my husband out, working on a job site, trying to, you know, just help him do some grunt work to get some things finished. So I spent the last 2 days getting up before the crack of dawn and being on a job site, building site on some scaffolding as the sun rises, which, you know, watching the sunrise over beautiful rolling hills in the countryside has been lovely and totally worth the hard work of the last few days. And I can say that because I don't have to do that every day. It's kind of been like a little mini working holiday for me. But it's been good to do something kind of physical. I'm a little bit stiff, a little bit sore, but yeah, it's all good. I actually also got to catch up with a really old, very good, darling friend of mine last night. We've kind of been messaging each other back and forth, you know, life just getting in the way as usual. She's a very old friend who I met in London when I lived there, and we used to live together, and it was so nice just catching up with her face to face on WhatsApp last night. And yeah, I feel refreshed and energized, socially energized, and it's really nice to do that, you know, kind of take those moments of joy. Yeah, I feel re-energized. So yes, that was very, very nice. And yeah, I'm rambling. I have totally gone off tangent, I realized, because I was talking about it being my birthday month, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, so yeah, life update really. So yes, I have a week off. Wake up, Sion. I have a week off over my birthday week. So I'm going to book in for a massage. So it is now going to be my birthday tradition to book myself in for a full body massage and facial every year, because I really only do it once a year. I should do it more often, but hey. And yeah, taking some time off. I'm going to go enjoy some cultural things, maybe hang out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else I'm going to do. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. that's pretty much it for this time. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been a little bit higgledy-piggledy today, but I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will endeavour to put all the details of everything I've spoken about in the description below the video, but I am fairly lazy these days and I don't provide links, but I will name patterns and yarns and stuff like that, and you can just go on Google and search them up if you're really interested in them. But yeah, I'm going to call it for today before I lose my battery. So you just have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. Do positive things for your own mental health, and I'll see you next time, and hopefully it won't be as long because I'm almost finished this. Yay! I have a good solid few hours of knitting I need to do today as well on this. So let's get this done. Thanks so much. Bye.